Some time ago when my daughter was very young, I got into modeling baby bottles. And I guess somebody came by and watched one of my baby bottle videos and asked how I would go about modeling a pacifier. And I'd thought about doing this for a while, and I just got busy doing other things. So tonight I'm going to model a pacifier, and this is one way to do it. This is the way that I'm going to do it. It's not necessarily the way that it should be done, but it's one way that it could be done. All right, so here I am in Blender, and I'm going to switch to cycles, and I'm going to, you know what? Let's just delete the cube, but let's keep the camera and the sun. Just move them to another layer there. Okay, my screencast keys are on, and there are a couple of reference images that I'd like to use. I really like this side view one here, and this one as well. And I'm going to be tracing out the nipple, probably this one, using this image in a moment. So I think we should bring that in, Bibs Pacifier. All right, so let's hit N on the side here, and let's open up background images and add image. And I'll put this in, I guess I'll just put this in front view and see if we can find it. Where are you? Where are you, pacifier? Okay, so it was this one here. And if I hit 1 and 5, I see it, and I'll center things up a little bit better than that. So minus 20, minus 10, minus 0.9. Oh, what am I doing? 0.9. 0.09. Okay, minus 0.09. That should probably be good enough for what we need to do. All right, well, we're going to start by making this circular part, and I'll just go back and forth and look at this periodically. All right, so here's the way that I figured I would do this. And by the way, maybe I'll just hide that for now, that image. Okay, Shift A, I'm going to bring in a circle. I'm going to leave the default values, but I'm going to rotate RX90 and look at it front view. Am I going to look at it front view or top view? I think you know what, I take that back. I think we'll just look from the top and make it a little bit easier. I'll just leave the default size as well, and I'll go into edit mode, and yeah, I'm going to hit E and S and come in just a little bit. E and S, come in a bit more, and maybe a little bit more than that. E and S and come a little bit more, and I'm going to leave that there for the hole for the pacifier to come through. And then I will come out here. I'm going to put another edge loop right about here, and I think I'll throw one more there. And what I want to do is simulate sort of a square almost, say like this area here, where I can make a hole. So what I'm going to do is I am going to select these 4 parts here, and I'm going to hit, actually, just want to think about if I want it that close to the edge. Maybe I'll grab this and scale it in a bit more and put one more out here, out to there. And then what have I got? Do I have what I want? Now let's make that even. Let's take this and scale it out again. And then just choose a location, like maybe those 4 there. I'm going to hit I to inset, bring it in. Do that, then I'm going to go W, Loop Tools, Circle. And then I'll hit S to scale. And just do it like that. Let's X and delete those faces. So there could be a hole right there. Okay, let's cut it in half and mirror this. So I'm going to B and box select all this half, X and delete those faces, and then I'm going to come over to here and add modifier, mirror, so I get that, so I get 2 of them. Let's have a look at that. I'll turn on clipping. I'm going to do another hole there, so I'm going to apply this and come down and go for these central ones. I to inset, we'll pull that in a little bit, W, Loop Tools, Circle, and I'll scale it in. And it doesn't matter if it's not the exact same size as these, that's going to be just fine. All right, so this is what I have now. Okay. I'm going to select it all. I'm going to give this some thickness. So I'm going to hit E to extrude. I'm just going to pull this up ways like that. I'll get some discoloration. Some of my polys are not facing the right way, so I'm just going to select it all and go Control N to flip those. Let's just have a look at this. Okay, now let's assume this is going to be the inside. And so what we'll do is let's try taking this face, E, and pulling that up a bit. And we'll start beveling this, these sharp ends right there. Let's go with that first of all. Control B and pull and give it a couple segments. Be adding a subdivision surface on this. Maybe we'll go ahead and do that right now, and then we'll start seeing how she's looking. We'll go with 2 and smooth. All right, so we have a little bit of work to do on this. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's sharpen this area up by putting Control R, edge loop, pulling it down near the bottom. It doesn't have to be right at the very bottom. And we'll do this all over. This one. And I'm not quite sure what I want to do in the center, so for now we'll just put those in there like that. See how it's looking. Okay, it's looking better. I'm just thinking about whether or not I could put another edge loop here, and that's pretty much equal here and here, so maybe I could grab these faces. The way I did that, by the way, is Shift Alt and just click and get the whole row. And I was thinking of scaling these, but not in the Z direction. So S, Shift Z, and bring it. Oh, is that what I didn't want to do? Maybe Alt S. Yeah, that'd be better. Alt S and just pull it out to give it a bit more roundness like that. Okay, so this is going to be the inside, and this is the outside. Now, let's look from the front, and we'll see that. And let's see, can I? Oh yeah, I hid that image. So let's bring that back. And you know what? Maybe I can move this up like that. And maybe I should scale this. Let's just hit the origin of geometry and cursor to selected. Did I do that right? Shift S. No, selection of grid, cursor to selected. That's what I wanted. And let's just scale this, but maybe not in the Z. Scale Shift Z and get it just to resemble this a little bit more, like that. And I can mess with not that. I just want it similar. Okay. Yeah, you know, like that kind of thing. And in order to bend this, I am going to go into edit mode, and I'm going to Shift Alt and click all those central pieces there. One to go to the side, and I'm going to turn on proportional editing. I'm going to start pulling up, and I'm going to increase the diameter, and I'm going to play around with this until I get a shape that I like. Okay, so that's what that has done. Just like that. It's relatively even to some extent. And I can do more if I want to. Maybe with a smaller size, just for that top bit right there. Okay, and we get that shape. I mean, there's different ways of doing this. You can use a lattice. You can just do it whatever way you want. I was trying with a lattice, but I didn't really like it. I like it with proportional editing. Just remember to turn it off when you're done. Okay, make sure it's off. Okay, so with that done, it's time to start working on, I'll do this part next. Okay, so my 3D cursor is right in the middle there. I'm going to bring in a plane. And I'll bring it up. Rotate X90. Not sure that part's really necessary, but just make sure you're in vertex mode and Alt-M merge at center. So I have a single point there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, there, yeah, turn it off. I'm just going to trace the one side of this, and then we're going to spin it. Okay, so I'm going to shut off my tool there, and I'm going to hit E and G, and I'm just going to go E and extrude and G to grab or go, and just pull points along and simulate the profile of this. Now at this point, I want to stop for a moment, and I'm going to hide this. And what I can see is it sort of balloons out here. And I don't know if it's part of the same piece. I kind of think it is. I'm just not sure. It's got the same color and all, so I think it goes through the hole and then it comes out so that it doesn't fall out. And it's open inside. Sometimes people put like pureed strawberry or something inside, and there's a little hole in the nipple at the top. So I'm going to make it come down through the side, through the center there. But and I can adjust all this. So actually, you know what? Maybe I'll leave that for later. Yeah. So that's all I need. I just want to make sure that point is at X0. So yeah, it is at 0. So that's fine. I'm gonna go back to object mode, and with that done, and I may have to do a little bit of adjusting there. I'm gonna come over to add modifier. I'm gonna choose screw. I guess I said spin, but on the y-axis, and a subdivision surface. What did I just hit? Subdivision surface of 2. And I can still go in here and edit this, and I don't like the sharp part there, so I just want it kind of rounded. So I'm actually going to do that, even if it doesn't exactly follow the diagram. That's fine. You can see that it still sort of sticks up a little bit, so sometimes you have to adjust that, and I may have to rebuild the top as well. So we're going to think about that. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the screw modifier. And that's it. Now I'm going to look at this, and in fact I'm going to bring this back, and let's get rid of the lattice. I was trying that out and I didn't quite like it. So the size I have to work on a little bit. So let's go ahead and set origin to geometry and cursor to selected, and let's bring it down a little bit. And then I'm going to come down here to this bottom edge. E and S to come through. And I might be widening that section too. E, and we'll go out. E. Make it a bit bigger. ES. Okay, we'll come to there for now and see how she looks. Okay, I might put a little ring on this part, or I might consider scaling this part out. You know, sometimes you have to do a few manipulations. You can turn off the subdivision surface just to see. Scale Shift Z. Let me see if I like it a bit wider there. All right, I'll think about that. What I want to do. Just want to try something. I think I'm going to prefer that. And then that piece is there. Okay, this we're going to put on a Solidify. Now, does it? Let's hide that. Let's bring that back. Okay, so maybe we're cutting in. Now, one thing you can do is if you don't use wireframe, you can click on the object information and switch to wire, so you can actually see through your object, and sometimes you can see where the issue is. Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to scale shift Z back a little bit. All right, so it's doing that, eh? All right, so I don't want it to do that. I'm going to leave that for now. I'm going to switch back to textured on this guy. And I'm just going to think about that end. If there's stuff I want to put a little lip, like for example, what I could do is I could just bring in another edge loop here. And then in face selection, grab these faces and go E and bring them up a little bit. And throw in another edge loop just to tighten it a bit, and you would have that effect. I could also take this and maybe grab these inner faces and Alt S and pull them in around it a bit. It seems like it's not quite centered, and that could give me a bit of a problem too. So let's look from one. Well, I don't know. It didn't seem centered to me, but maybe it is. Let's make this a wire and see. I think it's fine. Cool. All right. Yeah, very nice. All right. Let's put a Solidify on this. I think I'll just leave it at the default value. And that's going to be all right. You could take that edge, I suppose. Although I don't know that we'd need to. I could bump that up a little bit and just do it like that, nice and rounded. Yeah. That's fine. And, you know, okay, it wobbles around a bit, but it ain't going anywhere. Okay, so now we need to work on, so there's that part of the nipple. We need to work on this kind of stuff. And you can't see it very well in these, but I'll show you what I had in mind. I'm going to do this. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to grab this edge right here. And I'm going to copy it, Shift D and P to make it a new object. Select it and set origin to geometry, and even Shift S cursor to select it. Okay, so this is what I have right here. And it's just about the right size. And what have I got here? Oh, I've got two of them because I've got Solidify. So when you do that, you inherit the modifiers from where you took it from. So I'm going to get rid of the Solidify and just keep the subdivision surface on for now. And I want to make this a little bit smaller so as if it would fit into this hole. All right, let's go into edit mode and select it. And we're just going to go, let's see, E to extrude, pull it down. I can flip the polys right now so it looks a little bit better. And let's imagine that this piece goes into here. And what have I got on here? Do I have a subdivision surface, right? It's not looking very nice though. All right, fine, there we go. So that piece would go into there and built onto the, and by the way, a lot of times you'll see that this piece goes right into here. So let's put the wire back on this so we can sort of see. And let's grab that piece there and look from the side, and let's see, we push it up. All right, and then it does something in there. So I think I'd like to do that. I don't know if it will be visible, so let's make this a little bit longer. Okay, let's select that edge. Let's give ourselves some length here. All right, let's bring it in. And we will do something with this ES, nothing much. Now this is going to be left open. So now that I think about it, let's hide that. I will be putting a Solidify on this as well, but I can do a little bit of something on this. I can probably E and Alt S a little bit on that. Bring an edge loop in to tighten that up. What have I got here? I want to scale this edge loop in a bit and get some roundness there. Let's bring that back and see, it still fits. All right, let's just carry on then. Okay, so this piece is going to connect to this piece here. and be built into the piece that holds the handle, and there'll be a little cap on the top that you could pop up. You'll see better when I design this. So we're just simply going to take this, and I just want to see how wide it is relative to, so it's smaller than the piece of the nipple, or it can be anyhow. So let's go E and S, bring it out. Okay, so what have I got going on? I have two edges selected, so let's not do that. Let's make sure I didn't create any doubles. Yeah, I did, so all right, whatever. E and S, let's bring that out. E, and bring it up like that. All right, so I'm gonna want the handle to go in there. You'll see what I mean in a bit. I'm gonna bring an edge loop down to here, and let's have a look at that. Okay, maybe we'll make it sharper by putting an edge loop there. So we'd have that, and I'm just going to jump ahead a little bit. I'm going to start making the cap. I'm going to take that circle. Oh, let's adjust that one. Shift D, P to make it a new object. Instead of bringing in a new cylinder or circle, set origin and geometry, I'm going to build it right from here. All right, I've still got a subdivision surface on there, which is fine. Select it. I'm going to go E to extrude and bring it up. E and S, E and Alt M. We'll just go with that for now. Flip the polys. This is going to be a little bit bigger, I think, than this. Is it going to fit over, or is it going to fit inside? I'm not sure, and it doesn't really matter at this point. I can come back to that. So that's going to pull away. This is going to have openings on the side. Okay, let me think for a second here. Alrighty, not a problem. Like that. And we need to take this ES E. I don't know how far down to go, so we'll go like that. We'll sharpen this up a little bit. I'm not going to do too much work on it yet. This will have a Solidify on it. I'll just crank it up a bit. And it depends if you put it before or after the subdivision surface. All right. I'll bring another one like that. All right. So this would fit in there. Okay, now it is a bit too small. But on the other hand, I'll be putting a Solidify on this one as well. So what values did I use? 0.3. And I moved it above. Solidify. Let's move it above and do 0.03 as well. But before I do anything with that, I need to make some holes. So I'm going to come to the side in edit mode, and I think I'm going to put in another edge loop here. Select those two, and on the other side, let's select those two. And let's hit I to inset and pull it in. Okay, like that. And then let's delete those faces. All right, and then let's also, oh, I made it more difficult for myself, didn't I? Well, I could delete those faces like that, and I get something similar. Okay, how's that? That's a bit better. Okay, cool. All right, let's add a little bit more detail on this there, but I'd like the top to be rounded. So I might be, other than this part here, just fine with that. Nope. Let's make this solid again. Okay, see what we got going on. This part fits in into this. Okay, pushes in. This piece can come out or go in. Sort of snaps in with the handle on it. So let's work on doing that. Let's take this piece, Shift S. What am I doing? Origin of geometry, Shift S, cursor to selected. And then let's, well, okay, fine, we'll bring in a new object, a circle. All right, all right, yeah, rotate X 90. I kind of like to hide that image now, get that out of there. There we go. Okay, so that's where the hole would be. It would attach there, and then we just got to, I'm going to work on the size of this. So let's scale this a bit bigger. And I'm curious to see the kind of relative size. Well, you know, they make it smaller than the circle. And this one's hard to tell, and those ones are smaller than the circle as well. I think I'm okay with that. Whatever size you want to do. Okay, now I want to do this. How about just E and S to do that? Let's have a look here. Let's see that this is all going to work and fit. All right, and then to get it sort of wider here than up here, as you'll often see. Let's hide this and hide that. Let's take this and let's even just select that vertex and Shift S, cursor to select it, and make this the 3D pivot point there, like that. And then I can select it all, that inner part, and I can scale in the Z, and it'll scale towards there. And kind of do this kind of effect. I just want it wider here than there. And does it need, let me select, does it need to go in the Axonal a little bit? Just a little bit. Let's get rid of that. Go back to medium point, and with that selected, let's give it a little bit of thickness. I'll come down the Y, E, and just give it a bit of thickness like this. Okay, that discoloration just means polys are flipped, so select it all, Control N. Let's come out and let's go Alt H to bring everything back and just start to get a sense of this. Okay, you see what I mean? And I can still scale this in the Z, make it a little thinner. And let's put subdivision surface on this of 2 and smooth. And we'll get that. And now we realize that it is smaller than the space, so we're okay. And we can adjust, we can scale this in the Y a little bit, make it kind of nice and thick. And I can do more. I can make it thicker. I can select that and I can go Alt S and just pull down a little bit more, and we still have it thicker in the bottom. I'm just taking up more of that space and getting it a little bit nicer. How's that? And we can put some edge loops too, just to make it a little bit less, you know, round. What if I just put one there? Let's try 2, but just not push them too much to flatten it a bit. Maybe leave the outside a bit more rounded. At least it's a design choice, up to you. All right. Now, do we want to do something here? Let's look from the front. I was looking wireframe. What I was thinking is, do we want to make this smaller where it joins and look a little bit more convincing? Why wouldn't we want to do that? An object mode, okay, edit mode. Let's see if we can even do that. I'm gonna box select all of these. No, that didn't work. No, we do vertex like that. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. Let's take Shift-D, copy it, move it out to there. Okay, in case we need to come back to it. Let's go into edit mode and let's box select all of these interior ones, X vertices. So we're left with this. And it looks like a box, but there is a subdivision surface on it. All right, let's take both of them. Shift Alt and click both of those rings, and I think I may have to switch to individual origins to do this. I was going to go ES. How's that working out? ES. And then what? E. Let's try scale in the X. Nope, not that. Go back to medium point. SX. Let's just try that and bring them up. Just look straight on like that. We can rotate too if we needed to. We may not have to. Is that too much? All right, let's just have a look at that solid. So you barely see it. Yeah, I think we're going to do that and then put an edge loop here. We'll just slide this one back and slide one up here like that. Slide this one back and slide one up here. You know, just for whatever it's worth. Big space. Maybe too big. If I did it again, I probably wouldn't do a space that big. Yeah. But it's okay because, you know, this thing swings around a little bit, and this whole thing could be turned a tiny bit. You know, this with that, you know, that kind of thing. So I think we're done. You know, we could take this piece, come in, and we could take these faces, bring them down a little bit. Okay, yeah, too bad. All right, let's get rid of these faces. Oops. Yeah, subdivision, or the Solidify. Let's hope I don't muck this up. That's pretty good. Obviously, if you were delivering any food, there'd be a little bit of holes and so, or on the sides, whatever. Okay. That'll help with the size of the hole as well. Okay, with that done, what I could do is I could bring in an empty, just for ease of manipulation and rotating. Do that, and then in wireframe, maybe grab everything and Shift Alt and click on that and go Control P for parenting and choose the set parenting object. Okay, and that just means that I can use this to move this around or rotate it and scale it. You know, all that. I'm going to look from whatever, the front, the side. I'm going to rotate this down. So let's rotate this in the X. And let's bring it down. Okay, so here, let's go Shift C. Bring my 3D cursor back there. And we'll do that. How do we want this to lay? Maybe we want to just, and I can independently rotate rotate some stuff too. Maybe I can just rotate this in the axis. It'll take some figuring, some manipulations. I just want that a bit bigger. I just feel like it was off a little bit in size. Okay, so what if I was to rotate this back a bit? Push that in. No, I kind of want that down there anyhow. All right, we'll just keep messing with this. Maybe like that. Would it stand like that? Well, for us it is, because we just want to finish this off. And we'll scale that out. Okay, so what have I got at here? I had to lighten the camera, right? And this, let's just look through the camera and see. Oh yeah. Well, let's hit lock camera to view. Okay, and then I think what I would do is, oh, let's just see if we have any light here. Let's go on to camera view. This isn't necessarily the way that I would. Maybe I want orthographic and look through the camera. Do it like that. And by the way, do we have any light? Okay, so very little light. So, oh yeah, that was just the default light anyhow, and I didn't really do anything to it. So we'll, not 100, like 4 and maybe 0.3 if you even want to change that. Oh, it's a point, it's not a sun. Let's see what it looks like. And then the way you adjust you just select the camera and you just move this in or out to zoom or I think I would probably also do other lighting, but for now let's just do this. Let's go to the node editor and click on this part and click new and get rid of that and put in principled. I'm not the greatest at this, so just bear with me. Let's make this kind of like a yellowish color. I don't know, start with that. Transmission, I'm going to put up metallic a tiny bit, maybe 0.2. That might be too much. Roughness we'll put there. Let's just see what this looks like. Yeah. All right, well, I'll leave it there for now. For now, and that I am going to call the nipple, and then we'll do this part. Okay, do it over here. You can name it there too. This is going to be the no, I'm going to call it the body. I don't know, body. Get rid of that shading. And just choose your favorite color for this. Now this metallic up a little bit, roughness down. We'll just experiment with it until we get something we like. Okay, good, I see the nipple coming through. And then this part, now what I could do also is I can hit this plus, and that'll change that, and that's going to be like called a ring. Geez. This part, I don't want ring, I want this as body. And this part as ring, and I'm going to change this to, I don't know, what's this going to look like? Yeah, baby stuff. Oh, I don't know, purplish. And And I might want this piece the same. Might I? Yeah, okay. And maybe I'll just make this piece. What happens if I just make it the body color? It gets boring. Okay, so let's do another one, plus, and ring 2. And I do want that kind of a whitish color, maybe a bit of a cream color, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's get out of the node editor, come back to here. There's the camera view. Let's add environmental lighting. Click on the world, use nodes, environment texture, open an HDR image if you got one. Go with this, and let's just have a peek. Okay, and then we get that kind of thing. All right, and then come over to, where's my light? Stop that. Oh, well, by the way, the plane has to have something, so I'm just gonna do that. That'll make it a little bit less bright because it was bright white, not much. And is that my light? That's my light. First of all, I'm gonna make that like this, and whether or not I even need it is debatable. Of course, I do want a nice bright image because it is baby stuff. So, just want to have a look at this. All right. So what I'll do is I'll set up a quick render, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at this. Here we go. So, yeah, I mean, you could spend more time on the materials for sure, more time on all of it, but I think it looks cute. Here I just did the exploded view so you could see the different parts. But yeah, that's how I would pretty much go about modeling this style of pacifier. So thanks for watching.